Today we'll see the another concept related with the enzymes, that is the nomenclature of enzymes and structure of enzymes. First of all, we'll see the nomenclature of enzymes. In the nomenclature of enzymes, first of all, we'll see how these enzymes they are named. In old days, the enzymes were named in a various ways by various workers. However, later certain rules have been imposed by the International Union of Biochemistry in 1961 to name the enzymes. The first one, these are the few enzymes which were named in an arbitrary way, such as pepsin, trypsin, etc. in old days. Now, most of the enzymes are named by adding a suffix, that is the ase, to name of substrate on which it acts. For example, maltose acts on a maltose, urease acts on a urea. The third way, that is, these are also named on the basis of type of reactions that they catalyze. For example, carboxylase, oxidase, dehydrogenase. In another way, the enzymes are also named by using the specific substrate along with the type of reaction. For example, ariodipic carboxylase or a PEP carboxylase. The fifth way, which is also utilized for the nomenclature of enzymes, that is sometimes the enzymes, these are named on the basis of group of substrate they attack or catalyze. For example, proteinases, they act on protein, that is the carbohydrates that act on carbohydrates, lipases that acts on a lipid. The sixth way of classification, later on after completion of fifth ways, nowadays according to IUB in 1961, the enzymes are named by any one of the above method but are given a code numbers of 4 digits or element. The first code number denotes class, second denotes subclass, third denotes subclass, and last, that is the serial number of the enzyme in the subclass. For example, we will see the alcohol dehydrogenase, and the number it indicates, first one it indicates a class, second one indicates a subclass, third one it indicates the subclass, and fourth one it indicates the serial number of enzyme in the subclass. Similarly, the catalase also a number is 1 as to 6 as to 1 as to 11. That means all such enzymes, they are classified by using these 4 codes. After completion of nomenclature, we will see the structure of enzymes. All these enzymes, these are the true biocatalysts. They remains unaffected or unchanged either qualitatively or quantitatively at the end of enzymatic reactions. That means at the end of any enzymatic reactions, there is no change in the enzymes. These enzymes, they are relatively larger molecules. They are having higher molecular weight. They do not pass through the cell membrane. The majority of the enzymes, they are protein, and it is made up of one or more amino acids units linked by polypeptide bonds. The sequence of the amino acid in a polypeptide is very specific for a particular enzymes, which determines the property of that particular enzyme. The polypeptide chain is synthesized on a polysome surface with the help of mRNA or rRNA with a specific order from the DNA in a specific gene. The polypeptide chain has 2 terminals, namely amino acid terminal and carboxyl terminal, and the biosynthesis of chain starts at the amino terminal. The enzyme molecule shows a primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures. We will see one by one. First of all, we will see the primary structure. In a primary structure, when you see the slide, in that primary structure, it is the sequence of such amino acids, and these sequences, these are connected by a peptide bonds in that polypeptide chain. After completion of primary structure, In a secondary structure, in this structure, the specific foldings in a long polypeptide chain and such a chains which are stabilized by a synthesis of hydrogen bonds between amide and carboxyl groups in the amino acid. The common folding is a alpha helix, and that alpha helix we observed the picture, that alpha helix which is stabilized by the formation of hydrogen bond between every two amino acids, which is situated four residue ahead in the same chain. Each turn of alpha helix shows a development of hydrogen bond for stabilizing such foldings. After completion of secondary structure, another structure is the tertiary structure. In a tertiary structure is also helical and shows a random regions of folds. While you observe the picture, in that picture such type of the folds are seen with respect to each other. That means they are respect to each other and they are interactive with each other. It gives a enzyme molecule. It is a three-dimensional structure which is maintained by formation of disulfide and hydrogen bonds. That means in a tertiary structure, such type of the bonds are formed, that is the disulfide and hydrogen bonds. There is also presence of some ionic hydrophobic interactions and van der Waals forces in the development of tertiary structure. Such a three-dimensional structure which is responsible for production of active sites with a specific amino acids on the surface of enzyme molecule. While the denaturation is also responsible for the loss of activity of such a enzyme, or the property is also lost one. After completion of tertiary structure, another last structure is also present, that is the quaternary structure. It results from the interactions of two or more subunits forming a complex molecule. The biocatalytic nature and specificity in action, these two important properties of the enzymes are mainly due to a three-dimensional structure and presence of such active sites. The active sites are the regions with a specific amino acids with their side chain left open to form a bond with a specific substrate. Such active sites are present on the surface or in the clipped in the protein part of the enzyme molecules. While you observe that quaternary proteins, there are so many folds, and at the terminals such type of the chains, these are left open to form a double bond with a specific substrate. Thank you.